Gosh, boy, what I'm going to drink in the sea. Santa, di ba ilasis na no? Ito bukan. Mm-hmm. Pelau will be nice and brown. That's gonna
Well tanned.
brown like Louise. Thank you. Nice squash. Just to add some water now.
You know, Louis, it was a real pleasure watching you go through your paces with this meal.
You think you can make it now?
No, I can't cook really. I really can't cook. I cooked only in the first year of our marriage for 1 year. But I really am no cook. But I enjoy good cooking when others do it. But I can eat it.
Well, that's the important thing,
But you know, looking at you there, I had a heightened sense of appreciation. A heightened sense of appreciation for my wife. I suppose this is what happened in the Ghost of Korah, You know? Eusebio did not know some things in 1945. But what he knew, this morning he was tired. He dreaded the thought of getting off his fiber mattress, but he needed coffee badly, especially since the August morning was unusually cold. He wanted to make a cup for himself and one for Martha, who lay in his arm, her moist lips barely touching his nipple, the sensation heightened by the gentle heaving of her lithe body. Eusebio rubbed his eyes. So much to do today, he thought. Where to begin? Martha moaned softly and he turned to her. Her eyes were closed and gray strands of hair fell loosely on her forehead. Just like yours. You know? As she breathed, her lips sucked in the cool air that rushed down the lush northern hills and pushed through every crevice in their plywood palace. You know what I like about the beginning of this book? I like the thought that here's a couple. They don't have much. But you know what they had, Louise?
Love.
They had love. Not only love, but they had love for each other. And this love was extended to all who they came in touch with.
Naturally.
You know?
Yeah.
I was taken back a little bit there when somebody spoke there about today on a call that they're falling out of love with their husbands, with their husband, you know. But when you go through this book, The Ghost of Korah, you see with Eusebio and Martha a bond, despite their Despite their, what's the word, boy?
Despite their position,
Yeah, their position in
their
life.
humble position.
Their humble position in life, right? They had love for each other. And they did things to each other, with each other, you know? Things with each other. Now, you and I are growing older, right? We're growing older. And I was talking to a fellow not too long ago in New York there, and he couldn't believe, and he asked me, hey, is it really true these things happen, that people have been married for so long and they could become disconnected and separated in the long run? But if they're not, if there is no divorce in the situation, people can be married and be very lonely in marriage.
Definitely.
Right? They can be married and very lonely in marriage. And what is the solution when you're lonely in marriage? Something is happening. I'm not talking about a deceased partner. I'm talking about
The person is alive or dead,
alive,
but dead.
but dead to the communication that is necessary to keep the marriage going. So what is the solution if you're lonely in marriage? Well, a couple of them came up. They says, talk about your loneliness with your partner, right? Figure out what changed in the marriage. What happened? We had something in the beginning, but we have gone on for years. What has happened? How are we going to pick up the pieces now, right? Well, you've always been saying in past videos, work on your communication, right? Work on your communication. One of the things too is, and I'm very happy now that so far you have not spoken. They said, have a listening, active ear. So take a bow for that. Take a bow for that. You're a good listener, a good cook. Pelau smelling boss, boy. Pelau smelling boy.
Wait till you eat it.
Wait till I eat it, boy. I'll be in love again. I'll fall in love all over again.
You hit a man at his true stomach, eh? No lie.
But Louis, my stomach will explode, you know.
Yeah?
You know, avoid the blame game.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, you know, avoid the blame game. Laugh with your partner. You have to laugh, girl. Be humorous, tell jokes.
I laughed my way through for 52 years, you know.
Your big joke.
Yes. Still laughing.
No, but you know, you have to laugh. You have to find moments of joy. I mean, okay, your kids were small. You had a lot of, you had a lot of ups and downs with the kids, you know. A lot of responsibility.
I always say your life was put on the back burner for quite a few years when you have kids.
Right.
You know, and that's why I will say to any young couple now that take time together before you start a family. Because when a family starts, your life's going on the back burner. Because now it's about the little ones, mothering and fathering the little ones. The demands, the everyday commitment you have when they start to go to school, home lesson, and everything else. So I always say, for the first 25 years of your life, you hardly exist as a couple. But of course, you still have to make time for each other.
Of course.
Because after the children leave home, you'll be strangers. You have to have time. Still, no matter the busy schedule, you have to make time for alone time with each other.
Definitely, yeah. They say it's worse being lonely in marriage than being lonely by yourself.
Yes, a guy told me that, you know, a few years ago. A foreigner told me that. He says, I'd rather be single than lonely in marriage. And I didn't understand what he meant by that. How can you be married and be lonely? I'd rather be single than lonely in marriage. But you could be in a house with each other and be lonely.
Yes.
Because you have nothing in common together.
You have lost that intimate touch.
That's right.
You've lost the sense of belonging to each other. You know.
But I would like to ask a question. Are you finished?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. Ask the question. We pick up wherever
Okay.
we left off.
We're talking about couples
Mm-hmm.
who are falling out of love with each other,
Mm-hmm.
which is to say that at one time they loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
But what about if someone married not for love, not an arranged marriage? An arranged marriage is where someone finds a husband or a wife. For you never get to know that person. The first time you see them is on the day you get married. That's an arranged marriage.
Yeah, right.
In other words, you had absolutely no say in this union,
Mm-hmm.
right? But strangely, years ago, these unions worked. These unions worked. Arranged marriages, I mean, I know of arranged marriages. My aunt-in-law, always talk about, she was a little girl when she got married to my uncle. And she never joined him until she was about 15 years old. When all her friends started to join the person they married, then they sent her to meet her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So there was absolutely no relationship, not even when you were married, because you were so young. So we're not talking arranged marriages, but we are talking about people
Mm-hmm.
who got married for the wrong motive. You ever heard about that type of marriage? Can you imagine that type of marriage, Lance? Married for the wrong purpose.
Well, I mean, I would always think,
The wrong motives.
I would always think that, I mean, judging by our marriage, that, okay, we got married and we wanted a family and we worked towards our family and whatever responsibilities were presented themselves, we never lost that sense of belonging to each other. You know what I mean?
Well, we married because we love each other,
That's right.
right? But I am talking about couples. Have you ever heard or think about people getting married for the wrong reason? Ever heard about that?
What could be the wrong reason? Explain that.
People sometimes don't like home.
They don't.
They didn't like home. They were not happy with their parents and their siblings.
Ah.
And they want to get away.
Ah.
And you get married, thinking that will be the answer to your problems.
Without considering whether they really want this person as a
It's
lifelong
an escape
partner.
route.
But that's terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So people can get married for that reason. People can get married because it is felt. There are a lot of women who think, they talk about the body clock. Have you heard that said?
No, go ahead. Sounds interesting.
I'm not sure if I have the term correct, but the body clock is where it is expected that a woman after 35 years, she should not have children.
Okay.
But now, people in their 40s having children.
Mm-hmm.
But long ago, like in my time, people feel that when they get married, after 25 years, you're old.
You're old.
Yeah. And because by the time you get to 30, they want to have all their children.
Mm.
So if you think the time is running out on you, and you meet a nice guy or you meet a nice girl, and you may not really be in love with her, but she look like she's good material to be a wife,
Okay.
or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you say, well, okay, maybe we can make it in marriage. But the main ingredient of love, loving that person, is not in the picture. So they
Well,
marry
that
for the
really.
wrong reason.
Okay, okay.
No, I'm not saying that people don't sometimes marry for love, and it doesn't work too, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you marry for love, there's this magical butterflies fluttering in the chest, and this has to be it, boy. This is what you all love. And after 3 months, you realize you and that person have nothing in common.
Mm-hmm.
So you allow that passion to overpower you.
So how does one really approach marriage then? What must be the motivating factor there?
Well, honestly, Lance, I feel,
Let's talk about us, right? What was the motivating factor?
well, I don't know that if I ever really prayed for the right husband. But I think couples need to pray that the person that they're going to marry or who they are in love with, it's God's blessing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And that God has appointed you for this person. So it's something that couples probably never pray about. You pray about everything else, but I don't think you ever pray about your partner. I never prayed, but God was compassionate.
Yeah.
Right? And as I say, so of course you can mistake sympathy for love too. You can mistake sympathy for love. You might be very sorry for someone, their plight in life, and you feel that maybe if I marry this person, I'll bring them all the happiness that they want. That's not going to work. That's not love. That's sympathy. How long you can extend yourself in sympathy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But true love covers, when, the Bible says love covers the multitude of sin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the love of God they're talking about, right? But I think, naturally speaking, not spiritually, when you love someone, you overlook a lot of faults.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go nitpicking. You love the person. I don't want to hurt the person's feelings. How can I say this to the person, even if it is true? Or if I have to say it, I have to say it nicely. But if you don't love somebody, you could fly off the handle and tell them off like if they're just a little boy or a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't love the person. And because you don't love them, you don't feel what they feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that if you marry for love and you are mature, your marriage could work. But if you married for selfish reasons, which is to say, get away from home because home is not good. You want another home, you feel another home, you'll be happier. You are taking with you all the problems you're running from. And you're going into that marriage with all that problems.
Let me read two simple little things here in this course of Korah. I want you to analyze something for me, right? Eusebius scanned the yard. He loved this time of day when everything outside looked fresh and green, when the sky was transformed into multiple lanes for birds of every description, when honeybees buzzed tirelessly behind nectar, when the two stray dogs that had somehow become his responsibility lazed under the starched mango tree. Yes, life was pleasant. Martha and I are not rich, he thought, but we have each other and we are happy.
Exactly.
Okay? So in this setting, you see a man they don't have much.
But just to be together with each other.
And they are contented
everything.
with little. Do you think that today's generation really expect plenty to make them happy?
Yes. And I also think that there are people who have a lot and they're not happy.
Well, exactly.
Have plenty. But so it's two areas. There are some people who have a lot, whether through passed on from, gifts passed on from parents or whatever. They have a lot, and it came about easily, and therefore they cannot appreciate it, and they're not happy. There are those people in our generation who work together. They marry. You and I got married. We were young. I was 19, you were 21. We loved each other, and we wanted a family. I wanted stability because my parents had died. I wanted stability, a stable life with a husband, having children whom I love, whom we will care for, and give them a proper home. Mm-hmm. And we worked together, and we did things together. We bought a home 4 years after we were married. We rented for 4 years. We thought, this is a lot of money going down the drain. Maybe we should look for a home. We bought a home. We lived in the home. After a couple of years, we renovated it. After a few more years, we decided to do a little more modification. We did that. A few more years, we added on more rooms to the house because the family is growing. So you work and you are united and you're making progress and you're happy about the progress you're making together because we are in this together. Mm-hmm. And therefore what you work hard for, you appreciate because you know that through earnest and sincere sweat of the brow that you have achieved this home together. Together, you work together to achieve what you have. And therefore, you are thinking about separation and I will get the house. You're not thinking. When I got married, I never thought of separation. I thought of living together until death do us part. Mm-hmm. And what we were building towards, it's for the family. Mm-hmm. Not for myself, for together. It was your money and my money put together to achieve what we have. So it is our home, our children's home.
Mm-hmm. Very true, very true. Well, in my own family, I saw that. Mother and father were married for 57 years. And mother was up there in Cora. She was not a working woman, but she was a housewife and a dutiful mother. And she had 11 children. And father provided in his own, clever way. He had several jobs to hold on. Right. And it was tough for him. He was at SRP. He rode a bike to Port of Spain to work in Miller stores. And then he got a car and gradually little things. But they never lost sight of the fact that they love each other.
Exactly.
And they continue to work towards building the home, right?
Yeah. And the thing is that when you love each other, it's not that each other don't have faults,
No, we can never.
But you could work with it. You could work with it. You don't condemn and you this and you that and you the next.
What I want to say, avoid the blame game.
Right.
Right.
You're okay. I always say we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. Mm-hmm. You could clean the house better than me, but I could cook better than you. So I cook and you clean.
I can't cook at all.
Exactly.
You better check your pelau there, girl. Now that you mentioned that.
You have to work with your strengths.
Of course. Let's see what's happening there with this golden pelau.
Nice, brown. This could cut good with some good kuchila boy.
Kuchila boy?
And salad, but we don't have no cucumbers.
That's okay, man.
Nothing for salad.
We work with what we have.
That's it.
And that's the price of love too, isn't it?
Yes.
You work with what you have.
Yeah. That's right, you work with what you have.
Work with what you have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
So
also,
the question was asked, and let me just move on a little.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to be happier alone in marriage? Can you ever be happy alone in marriage? They say it's not good for the marriage. Adjustments are necessary to get back on track. Not only
okay,
necessary, but important to get back on track.
right. In other words, if I am to put it in my own words,
Uh-huh.
is it that that means, are you happier alone in your marriage? That is to say that we are living separate lives in the same house,
In the same house.
and I'll be happier being alone.
Yeah. But they say it could never work,
That is
That's too stressful.
yeah. But there are a lot of people who do it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was never aware of that until later in life and talking to young people at work, and they would say 50% of the people living married together 30 years, 40 years, but they're living in separate rooms,
Mm-hmm.
you know? No, that's not love, you know?
That's an arrangement.
That's an arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone loves you and the other one doesn't love you, somebody gonna be happy and the other one gonna be under stress.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, but I will say that it's a hard place to be, to not be in love, but still want to stay together. It's a hard place to be.
It's a tough place, especially if one has love for the other.
Yeah,
You know, genuine love for the other.
yeah.
But there is no compromise. There's no
reconciliation.
compromise. To
Yeah,
say,
this
okay,
is,
you know,
this is what it is.
this is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I love this quote. A cornerstone of a happy, healthy relationship is that both partners feel comfortable being truly open to sharing thoughts and opinions with one another.
Definitely.
That's a cornerstone of a happy
Yes.
relationship in marriage.
I will
You can share your
endorse
opinion,
that.
right? Share your opinion,
Absolutely.
share your thoughts with one another.
Yeah.
But when it breaks down and you can't get through,
Yeah.
then you know things are pretty tough.
Yeah. But that's why communication is the key word in marriage.
Yeah.
Because it's only as we communicate we know where we stand with each other.
Mm-hmm. You know, in this book here, The Ghost of Korah, right? Eusebio went for a walk. And while he was walking, Martha was left in the house. Right? Martha was left in the house. She wasn't feeling well. She had a headache. And he now had a little agricultural assignment. But while he was heading out, he had to cross the river. And there was this young lady having a swim. She was a very attractive young woman. And there she was in the water. And she was kind of flirtatious. And he knew it was an opportunity for him to go astray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But he had his commitment to his wife.
Yeah.
Because not that he was committed to the vows, he was committed to her.
Yeah.
He loved her. He wanted to be, faithful. And then it was a very, very, very compromising situation. He was drying off her body. She had emerged from the water, and she asked him, can you dry my back for me? And he condescended to do it. Okay? But he knew, like any typical man, hey,
This is trouble.
this is a little trouble here. And he wiped her back, and then he said, look, I've got to be going. Okay? But he didn't know that Martha had left home and was going to join him. And there she was on the bank higher up, unseen.
But she saw him.
And she saw him. But she never jumped to the conclusion that this was an arrangement. She didn't go with blaming him to say, well, he set out. I caught you red-handed.
I caught you red-handed.
Right.
Wiping with your hand.
Wiping with your hand. No, he had a towel. Right? But the thing about it is this, right? Martha didn't go jumping off, as I say, a high horse. And Eusebio continued on his direction, and Martha turned and went back home. And she never brought up the situation.
She never.
Never
listened?
did. No, never did.
Good
Because you know
woman.
why? She trusted you, Savior.
Yeah.
She trusted him, and he.
Because he was committed to the relationship.
That's the thing, you know, being committed to the relationship, and that is absolutely important.
Yeah.
Check that pelau, Louis, girl. We don't want it to stick. Appreciate that, though, Louis.
Come and see this, boy.
Okay, I'll return. I see them fellas going right around the pot, you know. They take the outskirts and they go like that. Yeah. I see all those professional fellas like Danish when they're turning their stuff. They go right around the pot. Ooh, bring that one, please. Don't let it burn. I love it, Louise. Let me get a kiss for that girl. You could real cook. That woman could cook. Hey, what the man said?
Cook it 1 hour's time. What's the time now?
It's what's the time now? 6:45. I gotta go and do something here. I need to put through a call to a guy in
Okay, so by the time you come back, I will have your food ready for you.
Yes. And we're gonna sit right there, right? Right on this table here. Let me see if I can call this fella here. I need an opinion on something. Right? We're sitting right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you just turn on that tap there, please? Oh my. Hey, Tony.
Yes, sir. How you doing, my brother?
Not bad at all, man. How is it in New York? What's the weather like?
To be honest, it's not bad today. It's a bit chilly outside, but it's bearable.
I am sure you're missing Trinidad.
Oh, believe me, man. Believe me. I wish I could just wink my eyes and I appear in Trinidad. Trust me.
And Tony,
I'm missing it, man, because this weather, and it's only going to get worse, and this is nothing compared to what we're going to get.
and Tony, watch me now, man. Nice pigeon peas and chicken and pork pilau.
Oh, my God. Oh, really?
That's for dinner, boy. We ready to eat now.
Oh, my God.
We didn't make that pilau while I was here.
I think I'm really going to try to blink my eyes and see what's going to happen.
Hey, yeah, man.
What you guys up to?
Sorry?
I said, what you guys up to?
Well, boy, we were just doing a little video here, but I needed somebody to ask a certain question. You know, we on the subject of falling out of love with your spouse.
That's a good one.
Ah.
Yeah. How can I do with that one?
What can you say? Have you ever felt to fall out of love with your beautiful Shanta?
If I tell you the truth, my brother, and I'm gonna be straight up with that, no way that I never really reach that point. I never even think about it. And that feeling, so for my wife, it's getting stronger and stronger every day, every week, every month, every week.
Uh-huh.
As we grow old and our age, it's only getting sweeter. So the idea of falling out of love with your wife or husband, I don't see that's necessary. Oh, that's possible. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. Don't get me wrong. But as for me, I never think about it, and it's not happening with me. And I can also speak for my wife also and say, I don't think it's happening with her.
That is confidence.
Very good. Very. But let me ask you this now. What gives you what do you do to keep your relationship alive? How do you handle things?
Well, you think about it, you have to have trust in each other. You have to have love. Love. A good marriage is based on love. Trust. Prayers. You pray together because me and Shanta have that is one thing we do every day together. We pray together. And that is something that is bind a family. That is something that bind a husband and wife together. And like she said, a family that prays together stays together. And that is the bottom line. And I must include God in this first and foremost. He is the number one. He's the middle of a good family, a good, honest family. He is strength and And if said in case any member, like a husband and wife, feel down and grumpy, you cannot do the same thing that a husband or wife is doing. If they have that feeling, you have to try and give them the little space until they figure it out. Or there's things like your wife or your husband might like. For instance, Shanta is a person, she feel a bit down. I will go and I will scratch her back, scratch her shoulders, squeeze her shoulders, scratch her head. These are the things will get her right back. She will bounce back from that grumpy feeling and she can accept. So you have to know after all these years, and as long as you have a long marriage with someone, you're supposed to know the likes and dislikes. So that's how
Well, Tony, thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much. I needed somebody to share some light on this thing.
All right.
And how many years? How many years you all married?
38 wonderful years. I mean, it's not been all good all the time. There are little ups and downs. Who don't have a little bumps within marriage? But thank God we get through to 35 and 38 years, and I'm looking forward for another 38.
Very good, my friend. Very good again.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys have a blessed night, and we love you guys.
Thank you very
Love
much,
you
Tony.
all
All the
too.
best, man. Thank you.
So
Well,
Nancy, lunch is ready. Pelau. Do you want some nice pepper sauce that Shanta made?
No, I think I'm okay.
Lime
I had
pepper
a lot of pepper today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, let's say grace and
Thank you. Okay, Louise. Well, thank you very much, my friends. We try to shed a little light here, and I tell you the truth. According to Mr. Sana, when I'm eating, I don't talk, right? So, until, and have a blessed night, everybody. Love you all our subscribers, all who support us. We have you dearly in heart, and we want to have you in our prayer too. So,
tell them how it tastes, man.
okay, sorry. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Woman always likes to hear the good side of things, huh? Grace, you're a boss. But that is an insufficient recommendation. Thank you very much. Okay, friends, all the best to you all.